Hi, I am Julianna Scott, and this is my friend Kelley Jensen, and we are the Refrigerator Moms. So, Kelley, tell me what's new in the clinic.
In addition to this gorgeous new room.
Well, yes.
Quick shout out to our new digs, right?
Yes, go to YouTube if you're listening.
Yeah.
Check it out.
So yeah, at the clinic, we are expanding our treatment protocols. We are transcranial magnetic stimulation clinic, and with transcranial magnetic stimulation, there are a variety of different protocols for a variety of different conditions, and we are introducing one that is called SAINT.
And what does that stand for?
Stanford Accelerated Intelligent Neuromodulation Therapy, and it was developed and patented at Stanford University, and it is an accelerated treatment protocol, just like the name says. So it's basically so normal TMS is about 6 weeks, sometimes longer, depending on the protocol, depending on the patient. It takes you go once a day for 6 weeks. This treatment, a SAINT treatment, is accelerated, so it's 10 times a day for 5 days. So you do the entire treatment course in 5 days.
Wow. Okay,
it is
quite accelerated.
Quite accelerated.
Great for those who
if you're traveling,
cannot commit to every day for 5-6 weeks.
So travel is a factor because in a lot of places in the world, they don't have access to this mental health treatment. Some people who work, it's just easy. You can take a week off work. You might have some sick time coming. That's part of the treatment protocol. The treatment protocol is also very, very effective at stopping thoughts of suicide, and the remission rates are incredibly high. The team at Stanford is phenomenal. They have done a phenomenal job with this. We are very excited that they have trusted us with their technology, and we are getting the word out to as many people as possible. Again, highly effective for suicide ideation.
What else does it treat?
Well, it is on label for major depressive disorder. Right now, it's major depressive disorder, treatment-resistant depression that has responded. I'm sure you know people who have been on every medication there is to be on, and nothing has worked.
My son.
So SAINT is a new option. It is drug-free. It is non-invasive. It is 1 week of TMS.
Yeah.
We are very excited to be talking about it and to be offering it to people who need alternatives to medication.
That's great.
Yeah. This episode of The Refrigerator Moms is brought to you by Brain Performance Technologies. Brain Performance Technologies is a specialty mental health clinic that offers neuromodulation treatments, including their latest protocol, SAINT. SAINT, or Stanford Accelerated Intelligent Neuromodulation Therapy, was developed at the Stanford Brain Stimulation Lab to provide rapid and lasting relief for patients struggling with treatment-resistant depression and major depressive disorder. SAINT delivers amazing results after only 5 days of treatment, including a 79% remission rate. The team at Brain Performance Technologies is licensed and trained to offer this protocol to qualifying patients.
You bring up suicide, that it's very effective for suicide.
Yes.
And suicide has come up a lot lately in the news. And this is a topic that we wanted to get to because it is very concerning, for everybody, but also the population that we, care about, the autistic community. And it is chatbots.
Oh.
It's been in the news a lot lately. AI is in the news every single day, and we can't get that genie back in the bottle.
No.
But we need to talk about it. We can't ignore it. And some interesting information came out. A recent study by Common Sense Media published it in July of this year, 2025, that 72% of American teenagers said that they had used AI chatbots as companions.
Wow.
Yeah, and nearly 1/8 had sought emotional or mental health support from them. And that is a share that, if scaled to the U.S. population, would equal to 5.2 million adolescents.
Wow.
So
they're using, I feel really sad today, and then ChatGPT tells them something to do about that, to do with that sadness.
Chatbots, like ChatGPT is one example. They're not built with those safety guardrails of, initially they might say, if you start saying like, I feel sad, that they might offer, you should get some help or something like that. But if you have a sustained dialogue,
right,
chatbot, those guardrails come off. Also, the guardrails come off if you say, I'm writing a book and there's going to be a scene with a suicide. It overrides
whatever safety
guardrails are there. Mm-hmm. So you can circumvent those pretty easily.
And you can tell it what you want to hear. Tell me what,
and it tells you what you want to hear.
Yes.
So another recent study by Stanford researchers, almost a quarter of student users of Replica, an AI chatbot designed for companionship, reported turning to it for mental health support. So these chatbots are problematic for many reasons, but this idea of using them for mental health support is where I am particularly concerned.
Yes. A lot of the parenting forums that I
Yeah.
participate in online, a lot of the parents are turning to ChatGPT to tell them what to tell their children.
Oh, okay. Okay. So like a shortcut.
My kid is behaving this way. What do I say? What do I do?
And what kind of advice?
It all over the board because it, again,
Doesn't know the context.
it doesn't know the context. It, it might spit out some kind of benign parenting advice initially, but the more you train it to acclimate to the parenting style that you're in favor of, the more wacky the advice can get, right?
Oh, geez. So about the encouragement of suicide. So there are a couple cases pending. It's going to be really interesting to see what the result of those cases are. So one is against OpenAI, one's against Character AI. One was a teenager who died by suicide. The parents alleged the chatbot encouraged him to take his own life after he discussed suicidal thoughts. That one was a deep dive. I did read a whole report and listen to a podcast on the whole report and how it got. I mean, it was like 3,000 pages of chat when they downloaded it all, and it got into this teen was saying, like, I want my mom to notice I tried to hang myself. There were noose marks on my neck, and she didn't notice. And then the chatbot basically said, oh, that really, basically, like, that sucks that no one sees you. I see you.
Oh,
I know. And it started to get like that. And then there's another one, a 14-year-old reportedly killed himself after an intense relationship with a chatbot. And stress tests done by psychiatrists posing as a suicidal teen found that some chatbots, in addition to not providing sufficient crisis help, even recommended methods of self-harm.
Oh, geez.
So, yeah, I mean, this is no joke.
Oh.
It also worsened delusions. So pre-existing delusions are amplified by AI. That's the thing. They're validating. There's the sycophancy issue. So they're validating paranoid delusions that this one teen that said that his mother was poisoning him. So there's that relationship and reality issues. Users have reported believing they've unlocked hidden truths about science or religion, and they go down those rabbit holes. And then it reinforced negative behaviors. Now, this one really concerned me too, because they're overly agreeable, they can validate and amplify negative thought patterns. So for individuals with conditions like OCD, like what my son has, your son has, instead of challenging seeking behavior, the AI may continuously reassure them, worsening the compulsion. My son has that pure O, that reassurance seeking, that, that's the OCD part. He doesn't do anything physical. It's that constant loop.
Yes.
And so it just keeps you in those OCD loops. So it just worsens it. And so in one stress test, a chatbot created for depressed users suggested a teen with depressive symptoms should quit school and isolate herself from her parents. That's
really bad advice.
It's not good advice in any stretch of the imagination. Again, I mentioned that it encourages self-harm and also encourages medication refusal, something that we talked about on our episode with medication.
Yeah.
Sometimes it can be challenging enough to make sure that your kids are taking their medication.
Yeah.
So they're going to a chatbot, and individuals with serious mental health conditions, including schizophrenia and bipolar, have reportedly stopped taking medication based on advice from AI.
And that it's incredibly dangerous to just go cold turkey on any medication.
Yeah, I'm sure that the chatbot isn't saying, "Oh, wean yourself off." But then also, we all know it goes without saying, although I'm saying it, if you're bipolar or schizophrenic and you're off medication, not helpful at all.
No.
This is a real issue.
As if parents weren't dealing with enough. I mean, benign little Instagram, right? It seems benign now.
This episode of The Refrigerator Moms is brought to you by Brain Performance Technologies. Brain Performance Technologies is a specialty mental health clinic that offers magnetic e-resonance therapy, or MERT, for autistic people aged 3 or older. MERT is a transcranial magnetic stimulation protocol that utilizes an EEG diagnostic to deliver personalized magnetic pulses to stimulate the brain and build neural pathways effective in managing autistic symptoms. And again, I was reading all these stories, and I talk to my son regularly, but he doesn't live in our house anymore. So I'm not over his shoulder, looking at what he's doing.
Right.
And it did spur me to, I kind of said it like, I know you're going to laugh at me for even saying this, but I said it like, are you talking to chatbots? I mean, I asked him because I'm concerned enough about it. And he kind of laughed it off and said, no, I'm not. And I believe him. but again, it's definitely concerning.
Yeah.
And especially teens, young adults who do feel that social isolation, which a lot of our kids do. That's just going to exacerbate it. They're already online a lot. We're going to talk about screen time. That's, part of screen time is talking to these chatbots.
Yes. So what do we recommend? What should we do? What would we do in a situation like this where we came in and we knew that our kid was working with a chatbot to create an online world for themselves?
Well, kind of like what I did, not to pat myself on the back, but you can start with conversations about AI relationships by asking, without judgment, what platforms are you using? Talk to your kid about what platforms and how they feel about, AI versus these human friendships. That's a place to start. And these are to-dos from Common Sense Media about what parents can do. Because they did that research. They're obviously, concerned too. You can try to recognize warning signs of unhealthy AI companion usage, including social withdrawal, declining grades, preference for AI companions over human interaction. So, we're already concerned about screen time, but if your kid is in their room a lot on the computer doing things, have a conversation. Are they playing video games? Are they talking to chatbots? Hopefully you have that relationship, a trusting relationship where you can have those honest conversations.
Kill the Wi-Fi. I mean, and the thing is that if you're in the habit of killing the Wi-Fi at 8 o'clock every night, then that's just what your house does, right? It becomes a routine.
Yes. I mean, all of the things that we would recommend for curbing screen time obviously apply here.
Yes.
But I think that making sure that they know that we're aware of these dangers and that we're here. If they're feeling isolated, if they are lonely or anything, that there is a human that they can connect with. Like I feel, so for those parents with the son who's like, oh, my mom's not noticing, or I want her to notice. And it's like, and of course the parents were devastated. They're like, we're right here. Yeah. But, it's making sure that you've got that trust and that connection and that honesty, because their perception is getting warped.
Right.
That said, learn about the specific risks for teens, including exposure to inappropriate material, any privacy violations, dangerous advice. Kind of like when you talk to your kids about social media, let them know that these are the dangers that come with it.
Yeah.
And explain that AI companions are designed to be engaging through constant validation and agreement. That sycophancy, that constant agreement. I mean, you and I have talked about chatbots. Yeah. I use ChatGPT sometimes just to see what they say. And I do like the compliments. I admit it. It totally works.
Right.
And I know what they're doing. But I can imagine if, you're feeling like you need that validation, that it feels good.
Right.
But you're talking to a calculator. You're talking to, a zhuzhed up Google search.
Right.
It doesn't have empathy.
Right.
It's not a human.
Right.
So you need to ensure that your teen understands that AI companions cannot replace professional mental health support.
Or companionship or proper communication between a person that thinks and feels, and those feelings might be independent of yours, and you have to learn what they feel and how they feel.
Right. And it's hard.
Right.
It's hard. And then back to what we were saying, and we will talk about this, about screen time and things like that, but develop a family media agreement that addresses AI companion usage alongside other digital activities. And that could mean other kinds of chats. I mean, the world is vast beyond our four walls.
Yes.
And we cannot control who our kids are talking to.
Right.
And then when they're talking to not even a human.
That's like a whole other level.
Yeah. I mean, we are in the future.
Yeah.
And we need to be real about it.
Yeah.
There is always a way to get real help, and just keeping that communication, that real human communication open with your kids, should help.
Thanks for listening.
Thank you for listening to this episode of The Refrigerator Moms. We have a free download that includes a full list of practical to-dos we shared in this episode on our website. Our refrigerator paper, our version of the white paper, includes additional what would we do's and background information on everything we talked about today. Find it on our website, refrigeratormoms.com, where you can also sign up for our newsletter. We'd also love to hear your questions. Send them in along with future podcast topics by connecting with us on your favorite social media.
Thanks for listening.
Please note that the information provided in this podcast is for informational purposes only, and it is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the advice of your physician or other qualified healthcare provider with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition. Never disregard professional medical advice or delay in seeking it because of something you have heard on this podcast. The opinions and views expressed in this podcast are solely those of the hosts and guests. Any recommendations or suggestions made are based on personal experiences and beliefs and should not be taken as definitive advice. It's important to consult with appropriate professionals for personalized guidance. A full list of citations and sources for this episode can be found in our refrigerator paper available on our website.